Hello everyone out there, it's your humble coach Arowoshola Yusuf. Today we are going to slide through some of the previous posts on my Facebook Hangout, and I'm going to pick one of them to do a trading analysis that can benefit more viewers that are willing to learn crypto trading as an innovative skills, digital skills that can help you secure the future. So to those that did not know what crypto trading is really up to, I would say crypto trading is a business involving buying cryptocurrency at a low price and selling them at a high price. So crypto is a business. It's never a gamble. It never
Greetings to amazing viewers all over the
a
world.
Ponzi
My name
scheme.
is Arowoshola.
It's actually a business. So I haven't known that crypto is a business. I'm going to use this particular asset, this one here. Let's use KSM as a case study for today's video. And this video is going to be an interactive section in the nearest future. Okay, I'm going to click on this advert just like you all can clearly see. You can take a look on this. See, what's your take on the KSM USDT crypto pairs? So that is my question for you guys. What's your take on KSM USDT crypto pairs? And as you can see below that before I drop my short video analysis decoding the KSM USDT pairs, chat is revealing to the world. I'd vote to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you, man. Again, before I drop my short video analysis decoding what KSM USDT chart is revealing to the world, I would love to hear from you. So what's your thoughts? Is it bullish or bearish? Drop your comments below in the comment section, guys, and you can get to read more about KSM. You see, this is more about KSM. The acronyms is KSM, while the full name is, you can see the full name here, Kusama, and you can read about it. Kusama is a permissionless blockchain network designed as an experimental ground for innovations before the launch on Polkadot. So should in case Polkadot need to launch any contract, it has to be tested on Kusama. So Polkadot is a big organization on its own. Kusama is also an organization on its own. These are digital organizations that are into crypto investment and trading. So all these digital assets can be bought for future purpose. You buy them at lower price and you sell them at higher price. You can as well trade on them if you have the knowledge of technical analysis in the crypto spot market. So I haven't seen that about this. I'm going to click on this screenshot to analyze in a bit what KSM is actually having for the world. So let's get a look about this. As we all can clearly see this, we can see that this is the highest point of this KSM in the crypto spot market, mostly on Binance Exchange. And you can clearly see that this point, if you take a look at this point, you're going to see a particular white number there. You see 11.35. That is the lowest point that this asset has touched. So what this simply means is that this asset has dropped from this point, from here, it has dropped down to this lowest point in the market. You see that 11.35, and presently this is the current price of this asset. You see, take a proper look at this by your right hand side. That is the current price of this asset. You see 14.70, just like you can see it above the screen here. You see, take a proper look at it. Good. So 14.70, that is the price of KSM. And aside from that, this chart is presently telling us that there is opportunity for new investors to purchase. Just like you all can clearly see it at this end, you all can see that when this asset was very low at this point, the next thing that happened is a major momentum. You all can see this is a pump that pumps, that is a high pump from a very low price. So if you take a look at this point, maybe drag it down to somewhere here, you are going to see that it's going to be on in between $11. You see, just like you all can see it here. You see that $11.35. So from $11 now, you have the opportunity to purchase this asset at this current price that it is. So now if you purchase it, consider yourself a newbie or an investor or a trader that is willing to trade. You met this asset at this point and you have the opportunity to buy it at this current price that is 14.70, and with patience you see your money pump up to this point. With patience you see your money pump up, you purchase it at this point, and with patience you see it pump up, and you see it touches maybe 655.69. You see, at that point, that means you'll be able to make good profit for yourself in the crypto by investing on KSM. You understand? So aside from that, you can slide up and get vital information about KSM. Just like you can see, KSM ranked number 197 in the crypto Binance market. You get, so you can see KSM market cap. You can just take your time to read through all this. Take your time to read through all this. Okay. So aside from that, I'm going to go back and I'm going to take you through my trading view, where I can analyze what KSM is actually really giving to the world entirely. Just like you all can clearly see, this is my trading view, and here on this chart you can see the name of these assets. So take a proper look at the topmost corner of this screen at the up. At this point, you're going to see me bring in my rectangle line to identify the name of this asset. You all can clearly see it there, right? KSM. Just like it's indicating. The name of that asset is KSM. So from there you can take a look at it. You see KSM, which is Kusama. I haven't seen that. I'm going to take you through a short analysis, very short analysis about KSM, just to just to showcase the opportunity that this asset has to the world. So I'm going to begin with this. To get started, I'm going to identify both the support and resistance. What did I mean the support and resistance? I mean the highest point of this asset and the lowest point of this asset. So this asset actually begin at this spot on this candle, exactly on this date below. If you take a look at this date below, you see below the screen, on the 20th September 1st, you see, sorry, on Tuesday 1st September 2020, that was when this asset started on Binance Exchange. So I'm going to bring in a rectangle to identify that spot for a simple analysis. For a very simple analysis, I'm going to bring in this. So let me delete it and bring it again. If for instance you met this asset at this point, consider yourself being a newbie, okay? Consider yourself as a new student or a new investor. So you made this asset at this lowest point here. So at this point, what is this price? I'm going to bring in my horizontal ray to identify that spot. Okay, so this is the amount of this asset as at this time. So imagine you purchase this asset at this point. This is 25.43 US. You purchase it at that point in time. Now you have been able to discover that this is the price you purchase this asset. Take a proper look at the price here. You see, this is the price here. That yellow box, 25.43 USD. That was the price you purchased it. And you were opportune with patience. You saw this asset pump up. I'm going to bring in my, you see, from this point here. You see where this green started pumping up. From there, this asset pump up and touches this resistance level. You see where this green stopped. That was where the asset touched. You see, let me bring in a line, horizontal ray, to identify that spot. You see this tip. You see, good. That is where it stops. So now, imagine you purchase this asset at this point, at this low point here. So now, you buy it at a low price of $25. You see, this $25 here. This is the price you purchase it to. You see it. This is the price you purchase it. This is $25.43. You see the price. And with patience, you saw this asset pump up. You see it? You saw it pumps up from here, pumps up to this place, this price. You see this price, 500 and this price, 565.21 USD. You see this price, 565.21. You all can clearly see that price. That was it. That means you have been able to take very good profit out of this market with just your 25.23 US dollar. You've been able to achieve nothing less than 565.21 USDT. Kaji, okay, fine. Now let me bring in another analysis again to show you how this opportunity appears. So I'm going to zoom this screen now. I'm going to zoom it. I haven't seen that the green has hit this yellow resistance line of 500. You can clearly see that this asset has dropped again, because whenever you see the red candles, they always move in a downtrend. So you can clearly see that from this point here, the red candle have dropped down on that spot. It has dropped down to this axis. You see where that red candle stopped, this area here. You see, so now I haven't seen clearly that this asset has dropped from this point, that it touches. You see this green candle touches here, right? And the candle now melts. It melts to this point, and before you know, another candle formed, which is red, and the red drops from this point down to this red candle. You see this asset drops down to this point here. So now I'm going to take measurement of how much drops. I'm going to bring in my horizontal ray. This particular, you see, let me place it on the lowest point it drops to. This is the lowest point it has hit. So now this asset has been able to drop from 565.21 USDT to 147.30. Can you see that move? So all of you that are thinking crypto is just a joke, you can see the great move up and down that is happening in the market. So now I haven't discovered that. Let me change this to maybe blue or something else. Let me change this to this color, is a neutral. So now I haven't discovered that this asset has dropped again. So what now happened? You see another green candle. You all can clearly see it. From that same spot, you can see this green candle take charge of this market from here. You see, from this spot now. You see it now. From this same spot here. You can see this green candle take charge of this market and pump up to that resistance level again. You can see the movement of crypto. You see, this a down, a up. So I'm going to bring in my yellow to identify that spot. Bring in my horizontal ray to identify that spot. You see, this is the point here. How much is that? It pumps up back to 516 USDT. And from that 516 USDT, you will see what happened. So now the asset has dropped from that price. You see, from that price, you have been able to see that this asset has dropped. Take a proper look at this analysis. So from this price now, from this point that this rate started dropping from that point, you can see that there is a huge drop down to this point where you can see this dotted red line. That dotted red line, if you trace it down to your right hand side, you are going to see that this is the current price it is on 13 USD. I'm going to zoom this. Okay, I need to zoom it so that, sorry, let me delete this. I need to zoom that spot. Bringing this to the previous. So from there, the asset has really dropped down to this point. Let me check. That dotted red now, you can all see it, that is 13, right? So now this asset is currently on 13. You can see 13 USD, because if you trace that dotted red line to your right hand side, you are going to see it clearly. And that is how I'm zooming this. So now from this dotted line here, you see this dotted red, guys, this dotted red line here. If you trace it, on that spot like this, you see this spot, if you trace it to this ending, you are going to see that it ends on 13.30 USD. You can clearly see that 13.30 USD, 13.30 USD. That is the current price of this asset now. And this asset has more potentials to return back to its previous all-time high, which is the highest point it has everly touched. the highest point this asset has everly touched, it has more potentials to return back to it. And this is a very good case study of this. I'm going to bring in my arrow to identify those spots. So before I do that, I'm going to delete all this drawing, all this my analysis, to clarify the proven opportunity that is in this market now. I drew this just to analyze. Now I've deleted all my drawings. So what I'm going to do now is to pluck out the analysis, and I'm going to identify the up and down in the market to begin this analysis. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring in my horizontal ray to identify the highest point of this market, which is this. That is the highest point of this market. Is going to be red because that is a selling zone. And below here, I'm going to analyze the lowest spot of this asset. Here is the lowest spot of this asset. That red candle touching the white dotted line is the lowest spot. So I'm going to bring in my horizontal ray to identify that, and it's going to be green. Good. I'm going to change this to green because that is a buying zone. And I haven't done that. What I'm going to do is to take measure of what is happening. We can clearly see that this asset at this point, here is the current price of this asset. This is the current price of this asset here. At this time, this is the current price of this asset. If you trace the dotted red line, you can clearly see the price. 13.30. You see, that is it there. And what we actually need is to check how many percentage can this asset still drop. So I'm going to bring in my price range. You see, from this dotted line, which is 30.30 USD, I'm going to place my price range and take my drawings down. I'm going to change this to red because that represents a percentage, a drop percentage. So as you all can clearly see, we have the potentials. This asset has potentials to drop by minus 14. You see, negative 14. It has potentials to drop by negative 14 in the nearest future. It still has potentials to drop. You see, I haven't seen that this asset has this potentials to drop from this price. Then I'm going to zoom. I'm going to zoom. I'm going to take another drawing up. I just want to make it more comfortable, guys. Good. So I haven't seen clearly. I haven't been able to see this. I'm going to bring in my price range and take my drawings from the current price, this same current price here, let's assume this is the current price, 13. Let's assume that is the current price, and you drag up this arrow to its previous all-time high, which is 625.40. 625.40. Let's as okay, let me place it here properly. Good. So now, if you, as a newbie, you meet this asset at this point and you were able to purchase it when this asset is at a very cheap price of $13, and you with patience you see your asset pumps up from this price, you see it pumps up to hit these potentials, this price, how would you feel? 625.40. So imagine you purchase it at $13, and within 1 year to 2 years, your $13 pumps up to $625. How will you feel? So let's do a little calculation about you purchasing this asset. So I'm going to take you through my calculator, and let's see how much is the current price of 13.33 of KSM. This is my, let's imagine you have $100, $100, 100 divided by how much is the price of KSM? 13 point what? 13.33. 13.33 is equal to, that means you have nothing less than 7.5 KSM, right? Good. Now that you have 7.5 KSM, what is your target take profit? You want the KSM to go back to its previous all-time high, which is 625. You see, this is the price here. You want it to return back to 625.40. 625.40. Okay. So 625.40 times 625.40. Tell me, how much would you have made if this asset has the potentials to return back to its previous all-time high when you purchase $100 worth of it? So if you purchase $100, you'll be having how much? You'll be having 7.5 pieces of KSM, right? And this is the highest, the previous all-time high that it touches, 625.40. So if you use your $100 to purchase 7 pieces of KSM And when they get back to 625 times 40, those 7 pieces, this is the total price you'll be having. You see, this is the total price you'll be having, guys. Let me change this to purple to identify that total. You'll be having nothing less than, at least, it will be bigger than that, but you'll be having nothing less than 4,691 US dollar. Imagine you having 4,000 US dollar. How much is that in naira? So, gentlemen, my takeout of this analysis is that I analyzed that this asset is going to hit its previous all-time high in the nearest future, and more so, it has the potentials. This needs to be cleared also. It has the potentials to pump above the previous all-time high. So let me bring in my price range for a case study. This is my price range. You place it on the current price. This is the current price, right? This is the current price. Yes, yeah. That is the current price. Good for it. And you drag this arrow up. You drag it up, up, up. I'm trying to make a case study. So there will be a period of time KSM will hit at least maybe 1,200 because it has been able to hit 600 before. Let me just stay at 1,005. 1,5. This is a case study. So in the nearest future, you can see that KSM has potential to pump above its previous high, all-time high that it used to be before. This is its previous all-time high. You all can clearly see it here. Let me bring in. Here you can see at this point, this is the previous all-time high in my rectangle. You see, from here, you take a look at that box, trace it to its price, that dotted red line there. Let me change this to yellow. Good. So now you see that middle line here. Where's my arrow? Let me trace the arrow down to the right hand side to show you more clarification. You see, I paste it here. Good. I trace the arrow down to this price. 625. That is the previous all-time high. But at now, this asset, because this is a crypto asset, it's a digital asset, just like Bitcoin, it has potentials because every crypto asset has the same characteristic. So in the nearest future, don't be surprised that you can meet this asset at this price. At this price here. Where is my arrow? You see, at this price, don't be surprised to meet this asset. You see, So one good thing about crypto is that it has the potential to make you richer in the nearest future. So if you think, for instance, let me bring you to this previous advert. If you think you are a job seeker looking for extra income, endeavor to invest on this kind of assets. If you think you are a student seeking for financial support, these are the kind of assets that can ensure your future. If you think you are a salary earner planning for retirement, gentlemen all over the world, mostly in Africa, endeavor to invest your money in crypto. And if you think you need more knowledge concerning this kind of particular skills, this digital innovative skills, endeavor to drop your comment in the comment section, or you DM me, you direct inbox me on any of my social hangout to find my advert. Thank you very much for watching this digital, innovative, and wonderful, amazing opportunity of digital skills, in particular crypto spot trading. For more inquiries, endeavor to drop your comment or your message as a direct inbox message. Hit the like button, share to loved one, and endeavor to watch the video again. Bye for now.